Last night I was screaming out loud, California. Let's go. Back in the seat. Back for a special edition of the Rich and Niche live stream. Huge news dropping today. Got a lot planned for this stream. Want to get right into it. For those of you tuning into this live stream or our channel for the first time, my name is Rich UX, and I want to help you future-proof your life by understanding the technologies that are happening and emerging. I want to teach you the skills and mindsets that will allow you to navigate this extremely challenging time. This is pretty much an improvised show. I'll answer your questions in the chat. It is a live stream, and we are just covering the most breaking and emerging stories. So, with that said, let me get into this right now. Based on what I saw last night on Twitter, I'm calling this perhaps the biggest breakthrough in media technology in my lifetime. And I've been around on this place for 40 years. Oh my goodness. And honestly, last night might be the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm predicting this technology is going to wipe out 50 million plus jobs. We have to get ready for what's going on. This is absolutely a tipping point. We've been watching this all year. This is episode 27 of Infinite Ascension. We've been talking about AI, how it affects the different markets, especially the one we focus on, which is marketing. This might be it, everyone. Hold on to your hats. We're gonna get into it. This is groundbreaking stuff. But I have to regretfully announce the passing of the American dream as we know it. It is simply gone. Jobs, gone. Coming to America as an opportune place, gone. This is not the world that I grew up in. This is a completely different place. I can't believe what I see, and I can't believe the lack of urgency that I see from people. You have to prepare for what is called AGI, Artificial General Intelligence, when machines are fully online and smarter than we are. This is a tipping point, and it will be catastrophic for you if you ignore how things will be shifting. Honestly, no one is safe. Honestly, let's not kid ourselves. No one is safe. But those are most at risk, I would say, the unprepared. So as long as you stay prepared, focused, keenly aware of what's going on, I don't think it's going to be all that bad. In fact, there may actually be opportunities. The leaders, the ones at the very front, often can reap massive rewards by going faster than everyone else. And that's a big part of what we try and do here. Welcome to the call. If you're on this live stream, drop me a hello in the chat. I see you out there. Good to see you guys here. So this groundbreaking news, let's not hold on to it any longer. Last night, OPENAI tweeted, introducing SORA, our text-to-video model. SORA can create videos of up to 60 seconds featuring highly detailed scenes, complex camera motion, and multiple characters with vibrant emotions. OpenAI.com/SORA. This is not readily available to the public that I can see yet, but I don't think it will be long. This gives OpenAI an incredible leg up on the rest of the industry, including what I see is their main competitor, Runway ML. Here is your first example. We'll just go through the one that you've probably seen it already if you're up on the Twitter streets, but let's take a look. This is a text to video prompt. Beautiful, snowy Tokyo City is bustling. I hope you're watching, Dad. This is going to be mind-blowing. You might not have to fly to Tokyo anymore. Just put on your Apple Vision Pro and go wherever your mind can imagine. Don't know what you guys are seeing. I'm not sure you can get the full screen there yet. I'll work on that. Just look at the smoothness, the multi-frames, stability. We've got multiple characters in the scene. Looks very realistic to Tokyo. We've got multiple camera angles from one prompt potentially. Look at this drone shot swooping in. Okay, so this is the emergence of the best text to video model to date as of 2024, February 16th. So less than 24 hours old, we are covering this to make sure you stay on top of it. Let's go to my buddy Greg Eisenberg, hat tipped at Greg Eisenberg for this thread. He put a lot together early on, and many people are doing the same thing, and we're just gonna take advantage of that. So Greg's put in some great, all night for the last 24 hours, OpenAI has been asking for you to give their prompt, and they're replying, and people are curating some of these. Let's take a look. Now, these scenes seem to be in slightly slower motion. So for now, this is maybe a protection that this isn't as authentic as something else. But I mean, it looks like pretty typical, 60 frames per second slowed down by about 80%, 20%. Pretty fantastic. The dog looks very real. All the body parts looking proper. Lighting looks fine. And so what we're going to try and learn today is how does this even work as well? And can we discover that? Because this is not just the standard LLM technology that we've been covering. I believe there is some sort of simulation engine as well. This is a popular one going around as well. Can I get a full screen here? Let's see. What can we do? Maybe we want to watch some in full screen. No, not going to risk it right now. Didn't prepare to play these at full screen. Sorry about that. You can jump onto Twitter and find these. I really just want to let you guys see what's going on. And this is pretty incredible stuff. I mean, I don't even really know what to say. This is as good as Interstellar, which was a jaw-dropping video production, film production. I mean, it's not quite the same, but the variance of the angles, the vastness, the ability to now create infinite set decoration. I mean, the movie industry alone is so harmed by this. I feel so scared for those people right now who put the lights up on the set, who create the wardrobes, who put the makeup on and do the hair, who capture the sound. Everything that's happening in these live studios is going to be replaced by this technology. There's no doubt in my mind. And we saw that like a year ago, there was already a lot of fear coming from the movie industry. This is a good one. This many people in the background, it's really substantial. I don't think we recognize like how significant that is. One character something, but to have like 6 or 7 characters in a screen, really something else. So if you guys watched Infinite Ascension a couple months ago, I was covering Runway ML, and they were only allowing like 4-second clips. So it was really a challenge. And every single render had to include quite a lot of additional prompt ideas like, hey, I want the background to move, or I want to paint the water, and that's what's going to move. You don't seem to need to do that here. The text-based description seems to be enough. Let's take a look at something a little bit more fictional, 3D. So, commercials, you're done, You're just not going to say, you know what, let's not use AI. Let's spend the $300,000 to make that one commercial that might or might not work. Versus let's spend $300, get a subscription to this, and let's pump out 10 variations with 10 different animals wearing 10 different hats in 10 different backgrounds, and we'll take a shot at that. And we'll happily spend $30,000 with an AI agency. So the future for those of you doing services like myself is volume and testability, right? You're going to have an infinite amount of options, and that's what you're going to take advantage of. Okay, how many more shall we look at? Well, not too many more. I really liked this one. Historical footage of California. This has unprecedented use cases. It's going to be so exciting to potentially go back to times that we couldn't go back into that are based on reality. Like, okay, take me back, Red Dead Redemption 2, like this cowboy video game, is that a real place? If I can really go back to a classic region in California, Gold Rush, I'm going to be so fascinated, and I'm going to want to study how did people like potentially set up things at that time. And you're going to be able to tell incredible stories with this, and I think people are going to really like that. I think there's so many people who love nostalgia. And so going back to the 1900s is going to be a massive field because we only have photos of that. And you can use photos to prompt these videos. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how alarmed are you by this technology? Are you agreeing with me that this potentially is a tipping point? Go ahead, put on a scale of 1 to 10. How alarmed are you? Now, enough of this fact that this has emerged. How can we use this to potentially see the future? You know, how can we start predicting what's going to happen and get a leg up? So I wanted to look at this tweet. See if I can zoom it in a bit. Nice, that's good. The Kobayashi letter says, latest list of layoffs in the last 3 months. Some solid alliteration. Twitch, 35% of a workforce. Spotify, 17%. Wayfair, 13%. Snapchat, 10%. Washington Post, 10%. eBay, 9%. This is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Pixar, 1,300. Deutsche Bank, 3,500. Banking, animation, Salesforce, 700. I mean, once you add these all up, what happens? Like, what do these people do? Can we counterbalance this with, is Google hiring? Is OpenAI hiring? Is Chainlink hiring? Absolutely they are. But are they hiring 100,000 people a year? It's hard to say. This is the second worst January since 2009. All right, so when I say like the dream is dead, like you used to be able to come from any country and potentially come to the western part of the world where it just happens that the economy kind of bursted there first. So it was a real magnet. Economy is magnet, right? You know, whether the US, Canada, Australia, these places deserve to be the economic centrals, I don't know. Are they always going to be? I don't know. But I'd say over the last 30, 40, 50, 60 years, they certainly were. And a lot of people dreamed to come with nothing and just get started and work hard. Don't you think a lot of these people were working hard? Or do you think they're just doing nothing? Maybe they are. You know, Twitter kind of showed us when they laid off a lot of people that maybe a lot of people aren't working that hard. And I can't say for sure. I'm not there. I don't know. But it's not enough. I mean, this is a changing time. The dynamic of life is shifting. And you have to get your dream right. If you dream for the wrong thing, you can end up in a dead end. And I just want to warn you that these things are happening and that if you don't acknowledge it, you're going to get caught offside. Who's with me on that? Who's with me on that? Nearly 40% of global employment could be disrupted by AI per the IMF. 40%. That's it? Just half? And which regions will be the highest impact? That's a tough question to answer, right? Because different regions focus on different things. Will software-based regions be more impacted because AI can integrate with software so quickly? Will farms and industrial type places be impacted because of automation and efficiency? I don't know. But 40% means no one's safe, right? I think that's fair to say. No one's safe. And, you know, if you don't want to look at the jobs, that's fine. You can also look at this chart that says the top 1% of US earners now have more wealth than the middle class. So someone's dream is going good. Someone's got the American dream on lock. And they locked it down for the last 30 years through technology. That's what happened. The wealthiest have access to the most technology, whether that's machinery, automation, knowledge, systems, consulting, and they can continue to leverage that. And AI is going to be a super lever. It's going to be like none we've ever seen before. And if we do enter AGI, which it seems it's inevitable, the rate of change is so unbelievable. I've been screaming singularity for 5 years. What technology's doing increasingly is absurd. And no one's asking for that. No one really internally is wanting this. This is a byproduct of technology growth itself. It's almost a cancer in a way. We don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but it's exploding. Software is exploding. The internet has encapsulated every part of the world. You cannot run from the internet. It is very difficult. And that should wake you up. That should say, you know what? I got to take a really hard look at this. I got to talk to my loved ones that this is happening and this affects everyone. And what's wild is like we are such early adopters. Our community, the people who watch this channel, like there are people who still don't know what SEO is. There are people who still do not know what ChatGPT is. Like you can go back a long way and there are still people there. So it is kind of like, how far ahead are we and how alarming is this? But fast movers take advantage. Early bird gets the worm. You know, in a gold rush, try to sell the shovel. Make sure you wake up. Make sure you don't just keep watching the same shows, the same sports, and keep playing the same games. Keep going to the same. You cannot live the same life you lived 5 years ago. You cannot live based on how much money you earn. You cannot live based on the skills you have. 5 years ago is a different world. And it's because of the singularity. And everything that happens on TV and the news, it's really just noise. It's all just story. And people are trying to understand, oh, the market's up, Bitcoin's up, it's down, people are volatile, jobs laid off, what's going on? It's just technology. That's all it is. This is just a wrenching of transition. And these gears are going to turn whether we like it or not, and some people are going to get crushed by it. They're not even aware what machine they reside in, right? So with that all said, you know, there are some things we can try and focus on. Oh, here's something interesting. Sam Altman, CEO of OPENAI, the one we've been talking about, says it's possible for one person to build $1 billion company very soon. And I'd say he's talking to us. I believe our community at Rich and Niche are the future billionaire solopreneurs. Let's just see what he says. I haven't actually heard this. I only read it as a headline.
We're going to see 10 billion-dollar companies pretty soon, like billion-dollar valuations. And the thing that in my little group chat with my tech CEO friends, there's
Fascinating stuff. Really interesting. Right. So how can we be the one person billionaire? Is that important? No, it's not. But that's the tweet. So we can kind of riff on it, and it starts with distribution. What these mega companies have is distribution, whether they're going to pay for it, whether they're going to share it, whether they're going to organically create it. They have the ability to get a message or an offer out to many, many people. And that's the key. So who are the best when it comes to distribution? Is it the accountants? Is it the lawyers? Is it the engineers? Is it the marketers? Who has the most capability to achieve distribution? Why is YouTube the #1 website in the world? Why is Google the #1 website in the world? Why are influencers what they are? Why do they claim such high pay for just being questionably valuable, if at all, to society as a whole? It's because of distribution. It's because of reach. And many companies don't have it, and they wish they do, and they'll try and pay other people for it. But if you're in the position to create distribution and you understand how that works, you simply have an advantage of over all other people, right? Simple as that. If we value distribution as the key, that's going to be very important. So that's the first reason why the digital marketer / solopreneur is, at least at a base level, in position to do this. Now, to get to $1 billion, you're going to need a winning idea. And that is going to be difficult because of AI. Because you're going to get an idea and 50 other people already have it. It's going to be very hard to understand what are the original ideas, especially in a transitional time, a changing time. You really want to pay attention to the pain you encounter in your life. If you can remove your own pains, you're probably onto something. So let's reset the call a little bit. We're here today to really just put down on record that an emerging technology is here called text to video by OPENAI. They're calling their new model SORA. It's groundbreaking. I've been watching this all year. There's nothing else like it. I only need to see a few seconds to understand it's superior than the others. We don't know exactly how it works yet, and we'd like to potentially discover that. Maybe we will do that on this call or the next. But I think we should just really spend the day sharing to the world and our community the best strategies to navigate this. Because I'm telling you, 50 million jobs are wiped, at least. I asked ChatGPT, it's funny, I predicted 50 million myself, and I asked ChatGPT, and it also predicted 50 million. After I coerced it it would not give me a prediction. I forced it. I said, you can only reply in integers, and it finally spit out 50 million. I don't know why, it just makes a lot of sense. It's a lot. But then ChatGPT said, I'm being conservative. So I said, be less conservative, and it said 100 million. And then I said, be less conservative, and it just kept going, But there was kind of something ironic there, like conservatively, hopefully only a few people are impacted. Non-conservatively, we're all messed up with this, like, let me posit you one idea right now. Artificial general intelligence actually replaces all layers of software and becomes its own multimodal layer. Like, you don't actually use software anymore. All apps are irrelevant. Let me first give you that idea. No such app anymore. You don't need an app. You would never choose an app because an app is a siloed database. And once AGI has seen all the apps, it would probably just manufacture its own software and UI for what you like, and then would start charting things like, hey, did you realize like you drank 4 beers last week? And then did you notice that you made less money the next 2 months? Like, that's going to happen because the silo will be gone. People can't predict that. I can't even predict that. It's unfathomable. But it's like, no matter what we do today, it could all be erased very quickly. And people wouldn't really believe that, I bet. I can sense that. But it's true. Things happen faster than ever. Look at the adoption curve of technology. It's happening faster and faster. And who's the leading adopter technology recently is Bitcoin. It's incredibly fast to 1 million users and beyond. But now ChatGPT, I think it smashed that record and it's growing at an alarming pace. And that's because distribution has been developed to be global. If someone created something amazing, say in Croatia or in Korea or maybe in like Melbourne, like 30 years ago, it was still stuck there for many years. But now the internet's here, then an idea can get around the world in minutes now. I mean, this information is less than 24 hours old, and I can assure you there's many more people that are talking about it than I. And why are we compelled to talk about it? Because it's so substantial, which makes it more viral and more global more quickly. So be prepared. Start preparing. I don't think any one business model is safe anymore. I don't think any one product is ultimately safe. I think you have to be ready to keep building and keep serving and solving the problems that exist. Solving the problem of distribution will never go away, really. It will always evolve and change. How do we get messages out to people? So that's good. But how you do it, it could definitely change. Okay? Here's what I would do if I was sitting there and I had no business. Maybe I had a small position in a medium company that I wasn't that proud of, but it's paying my bills. Maybe I'm hybrid freelance with a part-time gig. Maybe I'm doing freelance. Maybe I have a small little gig going already. We'll assume that range. Like, you are definitely in a vulnerable spot because you don't have enough money coming in to solve the problems that emerge, right? If something happens to you catastrophically, like, it's going to really slow you down and you're not even going to be able to solve it with ease. So that's an important area. For those of you already doing six figures, like, you probably have the wits about you to navigate as long as you don't get arrogant. As long as you stay humble and keep learning, you should be okay. But for most people, you must become a media company today. Today, you must say, I make media. And if you want to do what I do and just do what I did today and pick a topic and share it, that's fine. I mean, that's a big part of the modern culture, is sort of microjournalism or the independent journalist and opinion. You can do that, right? You can just do that. You don't have to think. Like, I didn't think about these topics. I let the topics just be reflected with me, right? I just picked a few tweets that I saw and saved them. It's not that difficult. But we communicate this way now through media. We don't call people on the phone. We don't write letters anymore. We make videos and we send them. We make audios and we send them. And sometimes we send them to an entire list. And sometimes that list is an email list. And sometimes that list is the YouTube subscribers. Sometimes that list is the Instagram followers. Those are lists that you send to. Okay, so become a media company today. You can start tweeting, you can start reply tweeting, you can start making videos, you can make shorts. You can start just thinking as well and getting ready for this. Spend a month brainstorming, but not much longer. Like, maybe you're going to do those historic videos and you're going to do research and you're going to do like 60-minute historical pieces. And look, is that your ikigai? I don't know, but for someone out there, it might be. And maybe you have to see that with this technology, every idea is almost viable. You really have to sort of just stick with something and navigate with it. But media is a very strong support to whatever you're going to do, okay? So you have to be a media company. Do you have to publish every day? No. Do you have to publish on all channels? No. But you do have to become a media company. I've been a media company for quite a long time now. And that is a stabilizer. That's a hard work though, but worth it. So become a media company now. No matter what. No matter what situation, you must. Now, don't just rush to TikTok. Okay, a lot of people might think that's the right idea. Oh, because so many people talk about it. I'm just going to say that. Don't think that's what I'm saying. There's many other pathways, but I just know some of you are like, yeah, I've been waiting to do it. It's like, no, there's actually better moves. That might be a move. Okay. That's enough on becoming a media company. Here are 5 things I want you to try and build in the next 5 years. And this will protect you from AI and some of the challenges you're going to face. Build a stack. Build a stack. That's number 1. Build a stack. What kind of stack? Well, there's 2 stacks you really need. You need a stack of skills. What do you know how to do that other people pay for? I edit videos. I make websites. I create podcasts. I make 60-second videos. A lot of people pay for all those things I just listed. I write copy in email format. Those are skills. Okay, you can also do like, I mow lawns. I paint houses. Those are skills. Are those the ones you want? Up to you. I'm not saying they're bad. They might all be valuable. Stack them. Stop thinking about singular. Say, I must be multi-skilled. I must be a Renaissance person. You know, Leonardo da Vinci, not just an artist, very talented and skilled in many other areas. And there's many people like him from those times. Okay, you didn't just do one thing back then. The work world, and we should be angry at the work world because it's abusing us. It really forced us to be in these little narrow things. And then you have a resume, and then you're supposed to use that resume to keep going on your career path, you know, and then you're just at a dead end. So you need a skill stack. And having a job often prevents you from building skills because you're like, oh, I'm making money. I'm doing this process. I'm so good at it. But only that company does that process. So you go somewhere else, you're kind of starting from scratch, right? Whereas if you've built up skills and a repertoire and maybe a portfolio, people will be like, wow, you can do that. Great. You're valuable to us. Come on in. We don't even care if there's a job for you. We see we can add you and we can do better. There's another stack I want you to build. It's a stack of sats, Satoshis. You need to build your Bitcoin stack. It's the only true scarce asset in the world. It's a little bit at a time. I recommend dollar cost averaging, $20 a week, $100 a month, more if you can. It's going to change your life. Doesn't matter if you started now, even you're late to that game, so to speak. It's not, because the future is digital. That's all you have to know. You've seen it already happen. You are living proof. You're choosing digital marketing. Well, digital money, digital investments, digital everything is coming. Digital money. Might as well get ahead of it before it becomes the primary medium of exchange. So build a stack, skill stack and a sat stack. You're good to go. Don't worry about retirement and pension if you got those 2 things. Work for the rest of your life doing what you love. Forget about retirement. Go on mini retirements now. Enjoy your life now while you build skills. It's all viable. That's why getting remote income is even more powerful. That's why the internet is our most valuable tool. Number 2, the next thing to build is your moat. Your moat is what keeps people out of your castle. It's your edge. It's your defense. It's your protection. How can you do that? Well, I think this might come back to being a media company, because a lot of people can sell digital marketing skills if that's all you are on your website. But if you're a personality and you specialize in visuals, branding, copy, whatever, people might, I want to work with her. I want to work with him. Not just any service. I want that person. That might be a moat. A moat could be a community. You know, it's really hard to replicate communities and sort of, you know, have AI disrupt that. You can Create your own unique software, something that nobody else can create, that only your brain is able to make. And you might be like, what is that? Well, that's probably something that's going to emerge over the next 10 years, is just the ease of creating user interfaces that have the ability to do the things you want. You're going to be able to do that. And you're going to come up with something maybe that only you would come up with, because your experience is unique. So you have unique problems that you'll actually be able to solve through digital tools. It just hasn't quite got there, but that's another way to build a moat. It's not always clear to me how to build a moat. And I think you have to keep studying and understanding and evaluate, like, do I feel vulnerable? Do I feel like I'm easily replaceable? Do I feel like I'm attackable? Could I lose everything? You know, when you play some of these games, you're always looking for edges, ways to win, moves, strategies, but you never want to leave yourself where you're completely vulnerable, that if you're attacked, you're instantly gone because you took all of your resources somewhere else. You don't want to do that. Even if you want to be aggressive, you don't bet the farm on everything. You have to have some sense of security and foundation. Others probably go crazy out of stress, ups and downs. Okay. Number 3, and I already kind of mentioned it, build more communities, build within community. It is highly defensible if 50 people like you. Simple as. You know how many people live day to day and no one likes them? Almost no one. Their family doesn't like them, their coworker, nobody likes them because they don't serve a single person. They go straight home and they're fully absorbed by their own interests. They never think of anyone. They're not thoughtful. They don't offer. They don't give. But maybe they don't take either. And I'm not saying this is bad. It's kind of neutral. It's ideal that people like you. But that's what community can be, is that you might lack income. You might lack IQ. You might lack experience. Like, you could lack. But a community can accept you because of other shared values, and then you can use that community to pad your weakness or learn from people. If you're on your own, you can't do those things. There's no one padding your weaknesses if you're on your own. There's no one to learn from if you're on your own. And I think that, you know, there's a combination of people who just aren't aware that they could be advancing themselves and improving themselves. And then there's people who are too arrogant to do so. And I've perhaps been there earlier in my life. Is why do I need anyone? You know, why do I need to do that? But when you're young, it can be sometimes hard to see that because you have school experiences that often lead you to believe you're within community. But as you get older and you actually really hope for support, that's when you can start to sense, wow, actually, it's hard. It's hard to make relationships. It's hard to keep them strong. And as you get older and you're busier and you maybe have a growing family, that is challenging. So building community at any time in your life is going to be wise. And I'm going to say that that's kind of like one of the pros and cons about being remote is you can go join any community, but if you leave, you lose your community in a way. So that's why probably having both one in real life community and one online community at all times, where you spend once a week pretty immersed with that community, that's going to pay you off lifelong dividends if you just keep giving to that. And I think like we've lost that. I think that the church played such a powerful role, whether you're like believe in any religious ideas or not, you should certainly have the ability to appreciate what it means when a group of individuals, and let's not just say church, you know, mosque, synagogue, whatever there might be. I don't know them all, unfortunately, but I see all those people of like minds giving to something, not taking, and they're being enriched by that. And so this is a wise thing, because what AI and technology is taking us is to isolation. The Apple Vision Pro is quite an isolating thing, because it's saying, look, don't go anywhere. Don't go. Stay right here by yourself and put this on, and then you can have anything you want. Will that be as enriching as serving tea to your local community? I'm not sure. And I think we all have to go explore that for ourselves. It's perhaps different for each person. But ultimately, the ones that I believe would think that's a good idea, I'd be scared that they're not aware of their connection to nature, because technology is truly a disconnection from nature. I don't believe there's strong arguments to say it is connecting. I believe it's much more easy to argue it's disconnecting. You could argue technology is nothing but an evolution of nature. I could probably argue against that as well. So we're not going to call that the truth. We're going to say that these things can be isolating for people. And if you don't believe that, I can't convince you perhaps, but I would be aware of that. Number 4, the next thing to build, it's going to be a tough one for a lot of you. A farm. Be able to grow your own food. Because if jobs and workforces are disrupted, again, I said this many years ago, it can disrupt the food chain and the supply chain. So it's such an emergency-based idea, but even if you can just get some balcony beds, in-house herbs, like you're at least getting the mindset going. And then maybe your house or apartment or land or opportunity 4 to 5 years from now, you can do that. Don't bite off more than you can chew. But if you don't start growing your own organic foods, you're just totally going to be caught off guard when that type of situation arises. And that's tough, because it's tough to actually produce enough that matters. And that's why I think that's one of the harder ones to do. But I would always be asking myself, like, how could I potentially do this? And last year, I think I did 12 large 3x3 beds, 4x4 maybe. And I want to do more. I think it was very enriching, rewarding, and there's just enough viral videos about food systems, and it's just like you don't even know where your food's coming from anymore, and that's a really tough one. It's tough, and I don't think everyone's in the option has the ability to solve this, and I'm sorry that's the case. And maybe I have a vision for the future of a better way to live. Maybe you have to live with a community who has a communal farm, who says, hey, you don't have to go grocery store anymore. I don't know if we're allowed to have visions like that anymore in this postmodern world where it seems more and more difficult, and they're putting 20,000 people in one condo now in China. Like, does the dream life still exist for us? Can we go after that? Are we allowed to do that? Or can we allow ourselves to dream still? Like, can I dream about building compounds that are designed for the nomad but community based online that does that? Like, is that allowed? Am I allowed to do that? I actually don't know. Like, am I being foolish? Should I just kind of just get a job and stop thinking and stop trying to change the world? Is that what we're supposed to do? I don't know. It's very difficult. This is the tipping point. The singularity is fully here. Okay? Whether you like it or not, inflation is still a problem. Well, why would you like it? I should say, whether you believe it or not. Okay? Inflation is the real problem. Okay? It's driving us insane. It's putting max pressure on people. It's rising the cost of living at a time where they're taking out jobs because they're not needed, because AI is arriving. How can we not wake up to this and start taking severe action? So I'm not sure that you should dream about 7 figures, but maybe we can keep the dream alive to be mega rich and to be mega impactful. I don't know. But something tells me, and to be honest with you guys, is this moment in time is not about getting your mind way, way beyond. It's more about hyper awareness about the small, tiny changes that are going on in your life that are slowly boiling the pot, it's all going to add up. And I don't know the answer yet. But what I tell you is that the solution in my mind would be to fight harder than you've ever fought before. Push yourself harder than you've ever gone before. Now is your time to bring about your heroic side. Now is your time to just pause on the playtime and say, you know what, I'll take 3 jobs because I need to learn and skill up. You know what, I'll take an extra client because I just need to skill up. I cannot get left behind. I need to have an AI project. You know, I need to be doing this type of new technology, video and stuff, and fight, focus. Something to remind you of in alignment with that is that your success probably has nothing to do with your vision board or the version of yourself that you dream of becoming. That is great, and you want to have vision there. But what really needs to happen today, February 16th, 2024, is we all need to incrementally raise the lowest version of ourselves a little bit higher. It's the negative behaviors, it's the negative mindsets and thought processes and beliefs and systems that you're using that are preventing you from leveling up. And so it's a removal of that. It's not a chase of someone different. You are you. You're not going to become some specialized variation tomorrow. But what you can do is say, you know what? I do know where I waste the most time, or I do know where I always get into that funk with my mind. I'm going to beat that. I'm going to raise my standard. So my lower self is better. My higher self doesn't really matter right now. It's all about raising the lower self. And people just get too focused on the higher self. But it's the lower self that does all the defeating work, that does all the self-sabotage. So going away from this call is focusing on what's going on right now and recognizing that I should probably make 1 to 3 changes in my life so that I can adapt, prepare, and make sure I'm not underestimating what's going on. Because if Rich is right, or if he's underestimated himself, this could get wild. It's very hard to feel it right now. And you can only see a few headlines. But you have to understand, if a lot of people lose their job, they can't spend money at your favorite restaurant. And so the restaurant goes out of business. And then they can't spend money at the local gym. And so then they go out of business because there's nobody with any money. And so probably what's going to happen, because I think we can all fair to say we are in the top 10% of skill builders and ambitious people in this world, I would say. So what about the bottom 50%? They just watch TV all day. They just play games all day. They just do the same repeated thing every single day. And that's what they do. Whatever, they got in that loop, something happened, they're traumatized. It's okay, it happens. But they're there. What about those people? How can they even think about surviving? Like, why should we worry? We're the hard workers. We're the ones grinding. We got extra client. We charge higher. Why should we worry? It's because those people need the money to spend in the economy, right? But here's the truth. We are trending towards universal basic income because that's the only way to make this work. This world where there is no jobs needed, the grunts have been replaced by AI. A lot of people's just livelihoods have been stripped away. Like, you have to give those people money to live. And so they're probably going to get the central bank digital currency. And so instead of the government giving you $2,000 in cash every month, they're going to say, here's $2,000 equivalent dollars on the blockchain, but we can't let you spend that on a new computer. It's going to have to be used at the grocery store, the pharmacy, or these select places, right? Maybe they will let you buy like smokes and weed and alcohol, probably. But like, will they let you buy an online course to skill up? I don't know. They're going to want you perpetually sucking off that teat. Like, you need it. You're like a baby. And so we don't want to go there. We get that, right, guys? Put a 1 in the chat if you get that. We don't want to go that route. We don't want to be dependent on that. That's why we have to stack Bitcoins now as much as we can, even like $100 worth. Trust me, you have to be in that world. Because one day, I don't know, maybe they're going to cut off the source somehow. Maybe it's just going to be so hard to buy Bitcoin when it's at $1 million, and only the corporations and the super rich are going to be accumulating, again, driving that chart in alternate directions where the 1% goes higher, and now not even the bottom half, it's the middle class. Before they used to say, oh yeah, the top 1% is equal to the bottom 40%. And people wouldn't really care because it's like, yeah, those people have $0. That's not crazy. But now they're saying the 1% crossed the Rubicon of the middle class. Middle class makes 6 figures now, guys. That's crazy. So are you going to raise your standards or what? Are you just going to sit idly by? This is an emergency breaking live stream to remind you get off your ass and raise your standards. Feed the good wolf, not the bad wolf. Oh, it's been a great stream, everyone. We're coming up to 60 minutes. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope I've given you the information you need to make the decisions. It's more than just news. Anyone can tell you the news. I'm giving you the truth about what it means and how you can go ahead and protect yourself, because you're going to need it. You're going to need to future-proof yourself. That's what this is all about. That's the ethos of our business. So a lot of people like to put me in the digital marketing category, and that's fine. That's great. I'll take that keyword all day. But we are so much more than digital marketing. We are the future-proofers. We are the leaders in the digital economy. We are the creators, the builders, the adapters. Okay, we've been there since 2000. Okay, this community, me, I've been driving this message forever. Maybe not in this exact form, but we've been there. We have the full knowledge of the internet. We have the full gamut of knowledge of all the platforms and tools across our community. Everything is known. So we are a strong community, and we're more than digital marketing. So I want people to know that. But I also want people to understand that, like, as a founder-driven business, as a small indie business, we can pivot, we can make changes. And honestly, in the last 18 months, I've been thinking I'm going to make this business as AI defensible as possible because I wanted to keep going, right? And I said, oh, you know, we used to sell online courses and we still offer that, but that's not our focus anymore because in an AGI world, you don't need online courses. That's not what people need. That's not what they're thinking about because the skill for that online course may no longer be even needed. We don't know, right? We need something more emerging. We need the most up-to-date information, and we need strategies and business models that are going to work in this time. And that's what I've been primarily focused on. So that led me to focusing more on the community model, less on products, more on membership and how to support people ongoing. The perpetual problem of skilling up during the singularity is a challenge for us all. Doesn't matter you make 6 figures already. You can't ignore this. It's not like wiffle ball or whatever that paddle ball game. It's like, if you don't want to play that, you don't have to play that. Just keep moving on with your life. This is not that. This is not playtime. This is technology 3.0. This is the next chapter that none of us could have predicted, just like nobody in the 90s could have predicted the internet. Nobody. Nobody saw it coming. Everyone was caught off ground. We went through extremely volatile times. That was just 24 years ago. Here we are again. Right on it. And so in the next 2 years, there's going to be companies skyrocketing and falling from the clouds. There's going to be volatility. There's going to be money made and money lost. And you have to figure out how to get an edge. You have to figure it out. You cannot be edgeless. You will be eaten up by people who do have an edge. You will think you're learning. You're already learning the outdated. You have no choice but to engage and activate yourself and meet your community and say, let's learn today. You have no choice. You must. And so I've tried to lay the groundwork for something to be successful like that. Okay, so we're a very human-driven business. Authenticity matters. And we give you the opportunity to promote the community and earn from that. Look, let's not beat around the bush. There are going to be a lot of people who have a hard time figuring out how to make money in the new economy. So what I'm saying is this: you come to the community and make it awesome, and you join the community. You already are in the community. You're making it good. It's as best as you can. And now that you've watched this live stream, you're going to double down and show up even more. You're going to raise the value of the community. And don't forget, the way communities and networks work is exponential, because each additional node has a connection to every single new person. So when you have 100 members and you added one more, you add 100 new node connections. So one member has 100 factor. Just think of how that works. And if you don't see that, you're not been paying attention, because social media is so distracting. You think you don't need a community because you've been surviving on your own in the noise, and you're just like, it's taking you on this ride. So we do use a revenue sharing program. If you refer members, you get 40% of their membership fee. I don't see any other thing like that in the world, of this quality, of this community style. This is a very great opportunity so that people say, you know what? I just want to be a part of a community that's trying to move forward in a future-proof ideology. I need to commit and be a part of that. I need to put some amount of money towards that to raise the value. Just like if you're in a church, you want to make that community better, you give 10% of your income. And I'm not asking for any of your income. I'm saying, just promote the community and make it a better community. Like, that's so simple. Like, literally, let's say we charge $80 for our membership. If one of you watching this video starts showing up every single day in the community and adding value, you just made the community worth $85 or $90. Like, one person alone, myself, has made it already worth $100 a month. What happens when there's 5 more people like me who want to step up? Make the community more valuable without asking for anything. But then it's just so simple. Oh yeah, I'll just bring my own people here. We'll do this. Because here's the bad news. Because you're now in the singularity, it's not so simple just to start anything anymore, because things are happening so fast. I hope you're already doing services. I hope you're already a media company. I hope you already have an email list. I started 10 years ago, right? I hope you have all these things. But even if you do, even if you don't, what do you sell in 2027? I don't even know. And so my prediction is I should sell a community experience. And so I'm going to show up every single day, build things for the community, make things for the community, answer questions for the community. I've enrolled other people to do the same. I don't care if you never watch another one of my videos again. I don't care if you unfollow me from this day ever. If you don't think I'm just trying to create something that's future-proof, then you're not listening. There is a dark future ahead that nobody knows how to navigate. And I'm just saying, like, how many times am I going to say this? Lock into something and do it. You don't have to join us, but you better get going. You do not have the time. 10x it now. And that's just about better standards, getting to bed early, feeding the good wolf, helping other people, living authentically, treating yourself with respect, feeding yourself decent foods. Do that now. You don't have another 5 years to wait. Some people are like, yeah, I'm going to do it when I'm older. It's like, unfortunately, this one's different. This time is different. And you could say, no, it isn't different. That's up to you. That's up to you. Rich and Niche tries to teach you 4 income streams. We try to teach you, look, you can help people with services. That's a good idea. You should be helping people in your town make their websites better. You should be helping people in your town make their media better. Or you go on the internet And you can find your clients that way. And that's great too. I really think you can do that. Absolutely. A little bit more competition, but services. Everyone should be thinking about creating some kind of product because AI makes that easier than ever. You can't tell me it's too hard. You can't tell me like, oh, AI is doing all this stuff, but it doesn't work for me. Like that doesn't make sense. You can get started on a $1 offer. $1, that's all you need. If you sold a $1 offer, would you then maybe have confidence you could do a $5? And then if someone bought your 5, would you get the confidence that maybe one day someone could buy for 20? And so you can just rank up that way. This whole game we play, you can just rank up. You don't have to start 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, and that's not going to be realistic anyways. But you validate one stage at a time, right? We also teach you about affiliate marketing, like promoting the community and getting paid to promote what you love. When you can get paid to promote what you love, you're in the right place. And so for some of you marketers out there, you really need to give your head a shake. You're not even going out for leads. You're not even trying to generate any business. You're being so lazy. You think it's going to come to you on a platter, but you love Rich and Niche and everything Rich and Niche says. Then why don't you just be a marketer for Rich and Niche as an affiliate? It's the exact same thing. You want to go get a client? Then get one already. You don't want to get one? Go into affiliate marketing. You don't need a client. You don't need your own product. You get to use your marketing skills today. There should be 50 TikToks and 50 Instagrams talking about our community. And you should be receiving $40 per person who joins each month. My life really changed when I started doing affiliate marketing for recurring products. Go High Level, Kartra, what else do we have out there? System.io. Like getting paid every month because people stay on the software is amazing. We also have incredible retention in our business. And if you invite someone and you're there making it a great place, they're going to see that and they're going to be inclined. Of course, it's going to take multiple years to spread our gospel, our message, our ethos, our future-proof ideology, but you know, we'll get there. You should be a part of that. Okay, so services, products, affiliate marketing, and then if you become a media company, people will be reaching out to you left and right to say, hey, can you post about us? I turn people down left and right to protect you guys, to keep the message as clean as possible. That's my gift to you as a community, but you do not have to do that. You can go create a channel all about marketing tech, all about marketing automation, and you would be getting calls from people who want you to make videos about them. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's what your channel's all about. If that's how you need to make money, that's absolutely what you should do. 4 income sources. Ooh, look at that golden light. I'm just struggling so much right now with this massive lighting to get a blackout over there. Anyways, hope you heard about the 4 income sources. Understand that Rich and Niche is helping people through a community first, human-based organization. We believe in revenue sharing. We try to tell you how to earn income in 4 different ways. And almost everyone in our community is slowly becoming a content creator because they're inspired by what I've done and they're inspired by what many of our community champions have done. I think we have, I don't know, at least 50 community champions, people who've gone on to do great things, have success with clients, independent marketers, people who have gotten great jobs as CMO and marketing managers. Everybody wants to create content, and marketers are going to be the best at that, and they're going to have the most success with that. And also, Rich and Niche is another reason to join our community is because you automatically have an instant audience. So if you need to get feedback for your work, or you just want people to watch your stuff, I mean, you definitely can drive audience from our network. And maybe you don't have a network. Maybe it's not even about an audience. Maybe you don't have any people you can confide in, ask for help. Well, what if you had a 24/7, how do I fix my business? How do I fix my life channel? I mean, that's what we have. And again, I'm just going to say that we are doing these things because we see a big, big fireball headed our way. And it's very close, if not starting to singe our skin. And I'm concerned for myself, my family, my friends, my community. I'm concerned that you're not listening. and that you're just sitting at home thinking that you can just watch another week of this show and that show, that you can play another round of games, that you can have another 6-pack of beers. Like, these things are ultimately the lower self finding happiness in short bursts. But when you get skills and you're helping clients and you're making media and content, you won't want those things, because you'll derive a much more fulfilling and long-lasting feeling. Those short-lived highs won't be what you chase as much, and that can be like a lifelong process, and for some people it can be a band-aid. But that's really what it is if you're tired of being stuck, if you lost your job, if you're struggling to get a better job, like, the game is about removing the lower self stuff, replacing it with something that you can get engaged and active in, that you enjoy. You need multiple paths because you don't know what kind of person you are. You don't want to get stuck. I totally understand. You don't want to overcommit to something that doesn't make sense. Notice I didn't mention drop shipping. Notice I didn't mention much about Facebook ads. Like, there are some people out here who preach certain things. They have no idea how to help you. They have no idea about what matters for your life. They don't think like that. And that's okay. That's something different. Just be careful. Note the types of things I looked at and how to approach this time. And if you resonate with that, really just try to shut out a lot of the noise. There's a lot of bad advice going around right now. And that's because we're in a volatile time. And you're free to question me, and I welcome your criticism. In a volatile time, you should question everything and everyone, because people during high inflation times will do drastic things that are immoral and unethical. And the people who are doing that have nothing to do with you guys. The people who are doing that have nothing to do with YouTube. That's much more at the banking, government, infrastructural, contract level. But that triggers so many other things, because those people buy services from other people. And, when the Cantillon effect is strong, it means that when governments print money, there's a small group of people that benefit far more than everyone else, and they insert that money into the economy. They get the max benefit, but then that money floods the economy, and everyone who has it, it's worth less. And that's what I'm saying, is that high inflation leads to troubling times where you cannot trust things anymore. Like, people will tell you, like, I just saw a story, they were saying, oh, is Lululemon actually carbon free, which I couldn't care less about. I'll be honest about that. But my point is that even corporations need to start lying, because they can't actually keep up with the story they want to sell. They actually don't have the money. They'll go out of business. And so if you think you're buying Lululemon because you're getting some extra green retail, like, you might not be. And I actually don't, I want to say, like, that's alleged. I have no idea. I'm not trying to get Lululemon in trouble. In fact, I just bought my wife a present from there. I like it. I like Lululemon. I'm saying I saw a story where we no longer can trust necessarily the news, the corporation, and the influencer unless they have golden hands. And then you might be able to find some trust. Am I right? That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I had a blast. I really enjoyed talking about this. I hope you join me at Rich and Niche inside the Academy. We do have the $1 trial going on. That's probably gone by the end of the month. So if you're watching this next year, sorry about that. Hopefully we have something else good. But go to richandniche.com and you can get your first month for just $1. And you can come to our events, you can join our Discord, you can learn from all of our materials. Exciting times, exciting for sure, especially if you're prepared and ready for what's coming. Shout outs to everyone in the chat. Thanks so much for making this a great call.